Welcome to Vlogmas Day 6. How do you host a holiday party inside your rig? It's small in here, right? So if the weather prevents you from actually hosting outside and you have to move everybody inside, you've got people, you've got food, how do you deal with all of that in such a small space? Today we're going to be talking about how you can be high on celebration even though you're short on space and host your holiday party inside your RV. I have a couple of requirements for hosting parties inside our trailer. One is that we are only serving finger food. That means just paper plates, paper napkins, and paper cups. No forks and no knives are allowed. Also, it means that food has to be easily eaten and enjoyed while standing. My second requirement is that it needs to be a really easy party for me. I don't want to be working during the party. I just want to have a good time. I want to get all of my work done ahead of time. Number 3, the drinks need to be easy. We are not going to be having a full bar. We don't have the space to lay out a big holiday cocktail bar. So that means we are sticking with a really simple drink menu, and cooler needs to stay outside for all the cold drinks. Before you start planning your menu, you want to consider 3 major components. One is how many guests you'll have. Number 2, do you have any special diets that you need to pay attention to? Gluten-free diets, vegetarian diets, those are pretty common. I particularly am having a few people over that are watching carbs and they are on the keto diet, so I need some keto, low-carb friendly options on my menu. The third thing that you want to think about is what kind of equipment you need, especially if you're serving hot food. So you don't want to have 2 or 3 recipes that all require baking in the oven at the same time. So try to vary your menu where you might be using the stovetop for one thing, the oven for something else, maybe even the microwave, the pressure cooker or slow cooker. As long as you have enough equipment that can handle the menu and you've got a space to put all of that equipment, then you're in good shape. Now that you've thought all of those things through, you're going to come up with your actual plan. So I have my menu right here, and I'm going to share that with you now. This is my Christmas party menu. And so I am going to be serving 2 cold items and 1 hot item for food. I'm going to be doing a buffalo chicken dip, which is hot and needs to be baked in the oven. And then I'm also doing party pinwheels and deviled eggs, which are cold. And then I'm going to be offering some sweets. Did I happen to mention this is not a sit-down dinner? This is a Christmas party, so we are having more like appetizers and snacks rather than having, a full-blown like dinner. I'm going to be serving 2 sweets. The first one is a white chocolate snack mix, super easy, and it is something that I can make ahead of time. And then the fat bombs are going to be for my keto friends. The drink menu that I have is going to include hot and cold drinks. So I've got sparkling water, hot apple cider, hot cocoa, eggnog, and beer and wine. Now that I know exactly what I'm going to be serving, I want to put things in sort of a timeline. I want to stay organized because that is what is going to make me have a good time with this and not stress about it. So you can see when I created my menu, I did these in a color-coded fashion. So the food is in red, the sweets are in purple, and the drinks are in green. So I took each one of those menu items and I made up a little card for each one of them. So I'm going to now take these cards and I'm going to lay them out in the way that we're going to be serving them. So I've got that buffalo chicken dip, I've got the party pinwheels and the deviled eggs, that's the food. Here are my sweets. I've got the fat bombs for my keto friends, and I've got the white chocolate snack mix for my non-keto friends. And then I've got the drinks, and I separated these things into hot and cold drinks. So I've got that all laid out here. But I also went a step further, and I indicated on each one of these cards when I can make it and how far in advance I can make it, and then what I need to do to hold it until the party. Now I'm going to just kind of shove these aside, and then I'm going to lay them out in the order where I can begin working on them. I want to get as much done. I want to front load this process of prepping for this party. I want to do it as far in advance as possible. So I know that on my fat bombs, they are something that I can make ahead and I can put them in the freezer. And actually they're going to stay for a few weeks. So that is the first thing that I can do to check that off my list. The next thing I'm looking for are freezer items. So this is, let me see, I can't read this upside down. Make ahead, I've got to make ahead and refrigerate here for the party pinwheels. That's the day before the party. The deviled eggs are a make ahead and refrigerate. That's another day before the party. The buffalo chicken dip is I can prep ahead the veggies. So you serve this dip with crackers and fresh veggies. So this, the fresh veggie portion, I can do that like 2 days ahead. And then the buffalo dip itself is actually something that I just assemble and bake. And it's a really simple recipe. So I'm going to be doing that one the day of the party. So I have 3 cards left here to figure out when I can do something. The white chocolate snack mix is something that you can make ahead and you can store in the pantry, which is really nice. Also, the other thing that I didn't mention earlier is really be careful about what you have in your fridge and freezer to make sure that you've got ample space for all this party stuff. So, so this is another one that I can do a few days ahead. So I can do that one like closer to the party, but not as far in advance as the fat bombs because those can be weeks ahead. This is cold drinks. I want to ice down all of those cold drinks. That includes the sparkling water, the eggnog, and the beer. And I'm going to put that in a cooler and just leave it outside so it's not taking up valuable floor space in here. So that I want to do a day ahead. And here is my day before column. And then the last one is the hot drinks. That's the apple cider and the hot cocoa. The cider, I'm going to actually have that simmering on the stove throughout the day because it really creates a wonderful aroma inside the camper. So I will be doing that one kind of late after, or kind of late morning, for like a little afternoon kind of party. And then the hot cocoa, I've got the mix all ready to go. And so it's just warming up a little bit of hot milk and mixing that together and serving that. That's a cup at a time. So I'm going to put these 2 over here because that's the day of. So now we know that I can start working on fat bombs a couple weeks ahead. A couple days ahead, I can work on this white chocolate Chex Mix. And then the day before, I'm going to be working on the party pinwheels, the deviled eggs, and icing down all the cold drinks. The day of, I am going to be simmering that hot apple cider on the stove pretty much all day because I love it. And then we're going to do the buffalo chicken dip, and that is going to be kind of right before the event. I really need to separate this thing into 2 columns because actually what I should do is move this 2 days ahead. I'm going to be working on the raw veggie portion. Then I'm going to slip it over here to be the day of. Here's the remainder of the stuff that I need to do the day of. So now we have a complete menu and we have a complete schedule so we can stay completely organized. So you can see the day of the party, I have very little work to do. Everything has already been done. So I'm going to be able to relax and enjoy the party and just have a really great time. I'm wondering if you have any really awesome party finger foods that you love. I would love to hear about those. I like to expand my menu all the time. So drop a comment below. I would love to know. And also, I am actually ready to get going. I am now going to take these recipes, put them into my quick little grocery list, head off to the store for all the things that I can get in advance. If obviously any of the fresh stuff, like the fresh veggies for the buffalo dip, I'm going to be doing that closer to the party itself. But everything, all of the shopping that I can do now, I'm going to be getting that over with this afternoon. If you haven't seen all the videos in my VLOGMAS series, don't worry about that. I got you covered. I'm going to leave a link for the entire playlist in the description below. Don't forget the reason for the season, and I will see you tomorrow.